Hey everybody, guess who it is? That's right. It's your old boy, SimplySuperDave, rocking at you with another episode of Staying Super with SimplySuperDave. As you may have caught up on the last couple episodes, you may have, well, especially the episode before last. I had to do a movie episode because I had to rethink about, I hated reboots. I hated reintroducing characters. I think Marvel finally did it right by making a multiverse and all that, so people are cool with it. Everybody's heroes are in it, you know what I mean? And no one's out, kind of thing. And so that opened up that door for many, many movies of many varieties of the same thing. So that's just awesome for Hollywood but I hate when they just generate out so much. Marvel's done a really good job at trying to keep a story intertwined, but it's kind of unraveled through this new era of Avengers. They need to really bring it together in the next year or so. They really need. I think they're going to try to do that this year with like Daredevil, but I think they're spacing it out more. They were just running too much product. But anyway, that's not what this episode's about. This episode is about time. That's right. Everybody's greatest enemy is time. There's never enough of it, is it? And then when there's something that you're anxious for, there's just too much time in between you and that main moment in time. It's amazing how it controls our lives, right? Think about it. It doesn't matter if you're measuring it in years, months, days, hours, minutes, seconds, anything beyond that. You're just a little too much effort, I think. Years, decades, whatever you want to look at it in, whatever perspective. It all is one continuous thing, right? What if I told you that time doesn't even exist? Think about it. Nobody, I know this is going to blow a lot of people's minds, but it does. We created it. It's a perception of our minds that we need it so we can keep a track of how our days were going, right? You're wandering around on this planet, you might as well keep up with like a diary. That's where that aspect of the human brain differs from animals. You don't see bobcats feeling like they gotta go and, I don't know. I think deer mark territory. There's just different, levels based on your brain size. And if you got that right connection, that spark, that special thing that separates you from the animals, this consciousness. I don't believe it works in the same continuative motion that, I don't know, a dog's brain would. A dog's brain seems like it would be more on a 45 record that would play over and over, and our records would be much longer, like even beyond like extra LPs, So that's the difference, and it's sad a little bit because we create our own thought processes on our own animals. I love our animals to death, but I also know they're possibly not as happy as I think they are, or if they're not miserable or hurt or whatever, and I would just take it to the extreme. Just you get into the puppy dog talk, kind of thing, you got to. It's just the nature of human. Then you have those people like, I don't talk to my dog like a baby. Come on, Brutus. But you still talk to it, But anyway, the concept of time does not exist. It really doesn't. I was thinking about a great friendship I had. God, must be almost 40 years ago. Almost reaching that point. If not that point, definitely 40 years ago. And I had a lot of interesting friendships over my years, and I know they're friendships because I fully trusted these people. And for a brief period of time in my life, it didn't seem like it at the time, but a couple of years out of 50 is not a big slice of the pie. And then you have 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. And then you have I've known them for 40 years, but how much time did you actually, Did y'all go play ball? Did you play video games, and stuff like that, and hang out and binge watch shows like, I don't know, Dune and Twin Peaks? That was a fucking badass show. If you've never seen that, by the way, that's the recommend of the podcast is David Lynch's Twin Peaks, the miniseries from the late 80s, early 90s. And check out the movie after you've seen the series. And just watch the old stuff. I can't really recommend the new stuff they've done recently, but I do want to check it out. Anyway, back to that concept of time, which, by the way, that movie will make you forget all about time and the mixture of the multiverses and one continuous motion that's happening, which is the expansion of the universe, and we're on a particle of it, spinning, having our own little life and joy, which means ultimately you're just living in the moment. Everybody is. There is no minute ahead or a minute behind. It's all one motion. It's just, we're so small and so looped that we're making the entire universe out of it through our creative process of thinking. So we need measurements, right? We need a way to keep up. Create a diary. We need to know what time of the day it happened. Well, no. What day it is. Well, does everybody agree today is this day? How many days have you gotten? I mean, how did that ever come across when the different groups from different parts of the planet, intermingled, and then, to figure out who got the right time? Well, you know what I'm saying? It's really, think about it, There's certain different kinds of groups, there's no such thing as communication from here to there. There's no telephones or electricity or anything. You just got people you got that one dude, hey, what day is it? According to my thing, it's Tuesday. Because there was no Bible until it was written, you know what I'm saying? Many, many thousands of years after all of the discoverance of keeping up with what day it is and what time it is. And how we just live by it now. But at some point we never did because we didn't really know it existed. Oh, how free was that human? Right? I'll let you simmer on that one for a second. But it was a passing thought. But I told my friend, because it was a mutual post on social media, and I referenced that no time exists between you. Were one of my best friends. You are one of my best friends. I did point that out, that you will always be one of my best friends, and that time doesn't exist between us. I would never let something like, I haven't seen you in 10 years, get in the way of me being polite and excited to see you. I don't feel like anyone owes me any time. Just like I don't feel like I owe anyone any time. It's one of them regrets, because a lot of people say, I wish I had more time. If I knew that was going to be the last time. You're living in one moment. Every time is the last time. Think about it. Life is really, truly a magical gift for us because of what we've created it to be. How important we cherished it, wanted to measure every little ounce of it, from the sun coming up to the sun going down, and the moon that constantly goes around our planet that we see throughout the day and night. But everybody notices the moon at night, But yeah, if you look up in the sky, you'll see it in the daytime too. Just in that rotation. That's how it works. And everything's round, by the way, if you haven't looked up in the sky lately. So I want to just debunk all that, because I dug down that little hole because I thought the flat thing was pretty interesting, Antarctica and all that. But the more I look at it and and space and growing up, and I could see how it was possible, but then there's just too much evidence. But then again, who am I trusting the evidence is coming from? What's real? What isn't? Unless you actually go through it, it will always be questionable at this point. So you have to really experience something before you fully trust and believe in it, much less talk about it, such as the idea that time truly doesn't exist. Don't let it be your bounds and chains. Don't let it be something that you can never get past. A moment is a moment in time. A lot of people get stuck in those moments. Some people can't let them go. They close their eyes, that's all they can see. It haunts them. And to be honest with you, I understand those things. A lot of people give into addictions of some sort, whether it doesn't have to be drugs. Addictions come in many shapes and forms. But an addiction should always be treated like an addiction should be. So if someone says, well, I don't have a drinking problem. Yeah, but you have an addiction problem of collecting all these cards to the point where you don't come out of the room for 23 hours of the day. It's a problem. And we try to work on those things because we realize that as much as you love some things, you can go too far with. So is there such a thing as too much love and laughter? Well, of course. I've always said there's anything too much of, well, anything is a bad thing. I don't care what it is. You can't take anything too far. And that's a hard addiction to get over. And if you have multiple ones, then, well, your OCD is kicking in high gear. I try to keep mine on second. I don't like to go into third. Anything higher than that, sleepless nights, those were my early 20s. I put a lot of pen to paper. If you haven't checked out my social media like TikTok, you might see some artwork down there. You just have to scroll through the library. But there is artwork. You can find me on Facebook, of course, SimplySuperDave, and of course on X, formerly known as Twitter. And that as well. That is probably my most active platform where you'll get a lot of the YouTube and TikTok links to the content as they drop. So be sure to follow me on there. Everything is completely free. Of course. Yeah. I don't believe in I believe in doing this for myself just as much as maybe just trying to help someone else. You know, if they get stuck with their own life, maybe they need to hear about someone else's. You know, realize that it can be over. If there's something you can't get through, it can be over as quick as you want it to be. You just got to actually forget about it. Focus on something else and not feel guilty because no one else is. You know what I'm saying? Who is anyone to judge what you feel and think and how you deal with it? As long as you don't affect others, like, I don't know, go stand in the middle of the street, attack someone, give in to the hate and fear, and bring out the anger side. To be snappy, say something that you might regret, you wished you never said. I'm guilty of all these things. Because I'm nowhere near perfect. Not in the standards of other people, even within my own eyes. Not even close. I wish there was a way I could be the person I was 40 years ago. And relive the friendships that I floundered in and out of. As I've been told, I was wish-washy. That was my first job as a video store clerk at a famous place called Blockbuster Video, where I could tell you where any movie was on the shelf and what was the movie you were in the mood to watch that night. I miss those days. It's amazing how different the world can be. End up becoming a house painter, been in the military, worked at factories, grocery stores. I've even been a janitor at a truck stop. Lived in Vegas, started becoming an electrician. Had to leave that life. And all the way to house painting, and still working in retail and doing deliveries independently. Snack cakes, bread, whatever I can get my hands on. Whatever I can make to make ends meet. But I try not to let the idea that just because it is a certain time of the day that I can't take an hour just for me. Don't forget to make time for yourselves, folks. Don't forget to give time for that eternal meditation we all need. To reflect the mirror back at yourself. To treat others how you would like to be treated. To know how to respect other viewpoints. And to realize you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, which means you listen twice as much as you speak. I guarantee you, by the end of the day, you would be the smartest man or woman or them in the room. That's a hard one there. I'm not still getting used to it. I mean, do I agree with all that? That little flaw that I just had right there? Not for me, but I understand that you want to be happy, then be that way. Why? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. Even if I knew you, it wouldn't affect me. As long as we got along together and got work done, if we were coworkers or whatever, then I hope you have a wonderful evening doing whatever it is you do. But people feel like you have to be okay with everybody else's. That's not how life works. It makes no sense. That's the whole reason why you're not living together to begin with, is because you see things differently. And that doesn't need to be forgotten about. The diversity is the very most important X factor to our life and existence on this planet, and why we have made it the way it is. Because if it wasn't for the different viewpoints, we wouldn't have all our fucking bases covered. And right now, we got a bad infield. And we got a bunch of outfielders that can't catch a pop fly. Our country is in desperate need of some true Americans. And it all starts with us. With me and you. And how we treat one another out there. Even if they come at you like hating on you. I get a lot of that on TikTok because I'm not the best game player. But I do provide some pretty good tunes for backup for my clips. So at least you get something out of it, right? Check me out on TikTok, I promise you. SimplySuperDave on any platform. I'm there. Yeah, what can I say? Spreading the Dave wherever I can put the Dave at. But anyway, just thought I'd have a little thought with you folks. So next time you get upset because you haven't seen someone in a long time, don't ever use time as a reason why you would dislike or like somebody. And yeah, I understand that if someone spent a lot of time with you, that's important. Yes, but at some point it probably will end. And you'll move on and may end up with no friends. Not like that. You get into the old age where you don't want to fucking get out and go anywhere. You just want to fucking rest your body. Watch some TV, The View. See what these crazy women are talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. See what they are talking about. Crazy they. I can't do it. Okay. Love you guys, though. Ever love everybody. As long as you got a good heart, you're equal in my eyes. And that's how I will always roll. That's why I always keep love and laughter on tap and keeping that hate, fear in the back pocket. You can't get rid of it all, but you can keep it to a minimum. Because if someone crosses your path, it's a good time to switch it up. You know what I mean? Direct your anger, and you'll find it to be more useful in needful situations. But always be respectful. Be nice when you're angry, at least. Show the respect that true warriors would on a battlefield by simply just trying to hash it out. And come together right now, because we need you more than ever, America. It's your time. Much love and laughter. Remember, it's the only thing conquer hate and fear. So go be a conqueror. Don't be a victim. Till next time.